Hello, everyone. So I was assigned to discuss the part three of our topic, which is the reform initiative. We will be talking about reform initiatives, professional development, as well as budgeting. So here are the objectives for today's topic. First is to understand and define the concept of educational reform and its significance in improving educational system. Second one is to analyze reform drivers and goals. And the third one is to assess the impact of past and current reform initiatives. So originally, I have a motivation, but we will be skipping this activity because this is a recorded video. So the first important year in the Philippine education is the year 2013. The K-12 education system in the Philippines officially began in 2013 with the implementation of the Enhanced Basic Education of 2013. This reform added 2 additional years to the country's basic education curriculum, introducing senior high school, specifically grades 11 and 12, to prepare students for higher education, employment, and entrepreneurship. So this reform aimed to improve the quality of education, making the Filipino graduates more competitive in the global job market, and also to better prepare them for college, for employment, or if they want to start their own business. It also aligned the Philippines education system with international standards, which require 12 years of basic education. Because before this reform, the basic education system only had 10 years, 6 years of elementary school and 4 years of high school. So let's now go to the second year. The second year is 2001. So the Alternative Learning System, or ALS, in the Philippines was formally established in 2001 under the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001. It was designed as a parallel learning system to provide education to out-of-school youth, adults, and others who could not access or finish formal schooling. So this program was created to help those who couldn't go to regular school or finish their education. It's a flexible learning system for people who may have dropped out of school or never had the chance to enroll or are too old to join formal classes. So the ALS is open to out of school youth, to adults, and other learners. So it's like a second chance, right, at education for anyone who missed out on regular schooling, regardless of their age. So the next year is 2016. So for the year 2016, senior high school started for the first time, completing the K to 12 program. So this year marked the full implementation of the K to 12 reform, which added 2 more years to basic education. So as I've said a while ago, senior high school includes grade 11 and grade 12, designed to help students become better prepared for their chosen paths after graduation. So now let's go to the last year. This is 2018. So the first batch of K-12 graduates completed grade 12. So this was a significant milestone for the Philippine education system, as it marked the first group of students to go through the entire K-12 program. So the first K-12 graduates also showed that the Philippine education system had successfully transitioned, right, to align to with global standards, making Filipino graduates more competitive internationally. Okay, so now let's go to the definition of reform initiatives. So, reform initiative is a structured effort to make significant changes to improve the functioning, efficiency, or responsiveness of systems, organization, or institutions. So, in simple terms, reform initiative is a planned effort to make important changes that improve how systems, organizations, or institutions work. So the goal is to make them more effective, efficient, or be able to meet the needs of the people around them. So these initiatives aim to address existing problems or maybe respond to new challenges, or it can also adapt to changing needs. So these reforms are designed to make things work better, right? For the benefit of the people they serve. Okay. Next one, reform initiatives in education or structured efforts to improve or modernize the education system to enhance its accessibility, equity, quality, and efficiency. So these initiatives respond to the needs of students or even the teachers, as well as the communities, and often address challenges such as, let's say, outdated curriculum or curricula, inadequate facilities, lack of resources, or sometimes unequal opportunities. So reforms in education shape the future, right? By nurturing knowledgeable, skilled, and responsible citizens. So these are reform initiatives has some maybe long-term benefits for us. Okay, so now I have here the 644 plan. Are you familiar with the 644 plan? So this refers to a structured framework for organizing the stages of a country's formal education system. It typically represents 6 years of primary education, 4 years of secondary education or the high school, and 4 years of tertiary education. Okay, so this was the former uh, curriculum in our education system in the Philippines. Okay, so now let's move on to the reform drivers and goals. Okay, so what is reform drivers? The forces, motivations, or factors that stimulate and guide changes within a system, organization, or society. This is according to Fulian in 2007. So these drivers are often rooted in the recognition of challenges or inefficiencies or opportunities for improvement. Reform drivers can originate from various sources, such as, let's say, societal demands or technological advancement or economic pressure, or sometimes there are what they say policy shifts. Okay, so there are also some problems or challenges with the reform drivers. Like, for example, when something isn't working well, like let's say poor school results or not enough teachers, it pushes the need for change. So this can be a major driver for reform. Or we can also say that there's the public pressure or demand. So if people such as parents or students demand better quality education, it becomes a driver for improvement or change in the system. Okay, and there are also some key components of the reform drivers. First is we have the internal drivers. So these are the challenges or inefficiencies within an organization or system. We can cite as an example is the ineffective processes, outdated technology, or poor performance metrics. Second is we have the external drivers. So these are the forces outside the organization or system that demand change. For example, we have the public pressure, technological innovation, or global competition. And the third key component is, yes, the evidence-based drivers. So these are the data or research highlighting gaps or opportunities. So for example, we can say the some reports showing disparities in education outcomes, right? Prompting curriculum reform. So those are the key components of reform drivers. Now let's move on to the reform goals. So what are reform goals? Okay, so the intended outcomes or objectives that reforms aim to achieve. So these goals define the desired state of the system post-reform and provide direction and benchmarks for measuring success. So these goals are what reforms hope to achieve in order to improve the overall system, whether we can say it's the school or the university or education policies. So example is to improve quality. So making education better by improving teaching methods, teaching strategies, resources, and learning experiences. So our students can get a higher quality education. Second example is to have like more access. So this ensures that every student, no matter where they live or their background, has the chance to go to school and learn. Okay. And we also have some key components of reform goals. So the first picture, so there's a hand and a key. It's all about access and equity. So access and equity, it means that ensuring that all students, regardless of their background, have equal opportunities to receive education. So for example, for this one, a government program that provides, maybe we can say, scholarships for students from poor families, so they can attend school, right? uh it's helping them to remove financial barriers. So this ensures that no student is left behind based on their economic situation. So all of the students, all of the children will have an access to education. Second key component is the quality. Quality means providing a high standard of education that meets the needs of students and prepares them for future success. So we can cite the example, a school hires experienced teachers and uses modern teaching methods to improve learning. So as a result, let's say the student can perform better and are more prepared for the workforce or the higher education. Okay, the third one is efficiency. Efficiency means making the best use of available resources like time or money or staff to achieve education goals. So the example here, maybe the schools are using digital tools and online resources, right, to reduce the cost of textbooks and make learning more engaging. So this allows schools to offer better learning experiences while staying within the budget. So the fourth key component of reform goals is the relevance. So relevance, it means that ensuring the education system is aligned with the needs and demands of society, economy, and technology. So for example, a curriculum is updated to include digital skills, right? Preparing students for jobs in the technological industry. So this ensures students to gain knowledge that is useful for the job or the technological advances in the community or in our society. And the third key components of reform goals is sustainability. Sustainability ensures that education reforms are long lasting and can be maintained over time. So, for example, a school adopts green practices such as recycling and reducing energy use, right, to create an eco-friendly environment. So, this ensures that educational reforms are not only effective, right, but also will benefit the future generations. Okay, so now at this part, we will be moving on to the reforms in Philippine education. Actually, there are really a lot of reforms in the Philippine education, but I just chose some of it, okay, which is very familiar, right? With our background as teachers in the Philippines. Okay, so what are the major initiatives and their impact over the years? So the first one, oh, so I have a question for you here. What educational reforms in the Philippines are you aware of? So you can write down your answer, or maybe you can just think about it and then answer for yourself. Okay, so the first one is the extension of the basic education system, or what we call the K to 12. Oh, so I think we are all familiar with this, right? So K to 12 refers to the changes, right, made in the educational system to add 2 more years of schooling to the traditional 10-year basic education cycle. So before, we only have the 644 plan, right? Wherein the students will just study 6 years in the elementary and 6 years in the secondary education. So the extension of the basic education system added 2 more years, right? Which is the senior high school, grade 11 and grade 12. So it was implemented to improve the quality of education and better prepare students for higher learning, right? Or work. Okay, so we have there the initiative, the implementation, and the impact. So the positive side of the extension of the basic education system, it has increased access to quality education, right? They also say that it improved the employability of high school graduates, and it also aligned the curriculum with the global practices, right? So, senior high school has also given students the opportunity to pursue some specialized fields, whether they want to be in the STEM field or the UMS or the ABM. And there are also some challenges with this reform. The full implementation of the K to 12 program has created some logistical challenges, such as the need for additional teachers, for the classrooms, and for the instructional materials. So some stakeholders have also raised concerns about the funding of the new curriculum. Okay, so now let's go to our second one. Second one is the curriculum enhancement. So curriculum enhancement reform initiative in our country, the Philippines, aims to improve the quality and relevance of the educational curriculum, right? Ensuring that it aligns with the demands of the modern workforce or supports global standards and also addresses the diverse needs of Filipino learners. So the reform also involves a comprehensive review and restructuring of curriculum content, also the teaching strategies and learning objectives, right, across all levels of education, right? So from basic education, which is the elementary and secondary, to higher education. So what is the positive impact of this one? This reform allows students to graduate with industry-specific skills and certifications. So for example, we have the TESDA, right? So this helps bridge the skills gap in the labor market and makes students more employable. There are also some challenges. So there are ongoing concerns regarding the readiness of schools, we can say, in terms of infrastructure and trained teachers, right, to effectively deliver this new curriculum. So there is the initiative, rationale, and the impact. So modernized content, critical skills, and mother tongue-based education. Okay, so the third one is the teacher quality and development. So this is like the professional development for teachers. So this reform focuses on improving the qualifications, the skills, and professional growth of teachers to ensure they can effectively deliver quality education, right? So some of these initiatives are the PRC, the teacher licensure exam, the teacher education council, right? And some of the various in-service training program are also part, okay, of this initiative, reform initiative. Okay, so we have there the initiative, rationale, and the impact. The impact is very important because it enhances competencies and higher morale for the teacher. So the positive side of this reform initiative is it has improved the overall quality of teaching, right? So as teachers are better trained and equipped to engage students with updated techniques and subject matter expertise. So para hindi naman nahuhuli yung mga teacher, no, sa mga trends and sa mga teaching strategies and methods na dapat nating matutunan. So let's now go to the fourth one. Fourth one is the MTB-MLE, which is the tongue-based multilingual education. So this initiative incorporates the use of regional languages as the medium of instruction for kindergarten to grade 3, transitioning to Filipino and English in higher grade. So this initiative incorporates the use of regional languages. So kung nandito ka sa region na ito ang gagamitin. Kung nandito ka naman sa kabilang region, ayun ang gagamitin from kindergarten to grade 3. Okay, so what are the goals of this initiative? First is to improve learning outcomes by teaching in languages familiar to students. And second one is it also foster cultural preservation. So the students will be more familiar with their language, with their dialect, right? And also the culture of their region. Okay, so the positive side of this reform is it helps students understand lessons better because they learn in their native language during the early years. So they say that this approach improves their reading, their writing, and their speaking skills, making them more confident learners, right? Okay, so now let's go to our fifth reform initiative. This is the free higher education, universal access to quality tertiary education. Okay, so this was signed in 2017. This law provides free tuition and miscellaneous fee for students in state U and local universities and colleges. I remember when I was studying in college, naabutan namin itong program na ito. So, hindi kami nagbabayad ng tuition fee during that time because we were studying in PNU, which is a state university college. So, free yung pag-aaral. Pero I think parang may binayaran pa din kami sa mga student fee, pero maliit na lang. So the goal of this one is to increase access to higher education for marginalized sectors. So what is the positive impact of this? This one is very important, and I can say that it is also very useful for us, the students during that time. So it makes college education accessible to more students, right? Especially those from low-income families. So by removing the tuition fees, right, in state U and colleges, more young people have the chance to earn a degree. So yung ibabayad na tuition, babaunin na lang or ilalagay na lang as allowance ng mga students. Okay, so now let's go to our sixth reform initiative. Okay, so this one is the industry academia collaboration. Okay, so this refers to partnerships between educational institutions and industries to bridge the gap between academic knowledge and real world skills. So there's a like collaboration between the school and then maybe a company, right? Maybe we can say a joint research between them or the internship or the training programs. Sometimes there's also the curriculum development benefiting yung school at yung company. I remember when I was working in Don Bosco, Makati, we have the internship program for our students in senior high school, wherein they have to like complete some hours for the internship. So there's like the company that we tied up that also cater our students for further training or further internship. Okay, so the positive impact of this program is the collaboration enhances the employability of graduates by equipping them with hands-on experience, right, and practical skills, making them more attractive to employers. So dahil meron na nga silang, senior high school pa lang sila, pero meron na silang tawag yung training, right, or internship, mas magiging malaki yung opportunity na ma-hire sila sa mga company in the near future. Now let's go to number 7, which is the technology integration. So this reform initiative refers to the use of technology tools and systems to enhance teaching, learning, and administrative processes within educational settings. So it involves incorporating digital devices, or maybe we can say software or online resources and multimedia into daily classroom activities to support both educators and students. So I think this one is very important as of now, since we are entering the modernized society. So even here in Taiwan, it's very modernized. We are like using a lot of online websites to incorporate in our lessons. So students are more engaged and more participative in our lessons because we are using the technology, right, for our lesson. So what is the positive impact of this one? Integrating technology in education provides students with access to a lot of information resources as well as interactive learning tools, right? And aside from learning, they're also enjoying. So it also helps them in developing critical skills such as digital literacy and problem solving, which is very essential for our students. Now let's move on to our number 8. We are very familiar with alternative learning system or ALS. So ALS is a non-formal education program intended for out-of-school youth, adult learners, and those who are unable to attend regular schooling. Right. So it provides a flexible and accessible learning environment through various modes. So it can be like a face-to-face or an online, or sometimes they also have the mobile. Okay, so I remember we have an experience when we were in college. So we visited a school that offers ALS. So we were able to interview some of the students, and we were able to like observe or witness one of their classes. And it was a meaningful experience because we were able to talk to them and maybe ask some questions about their experience in the program. And it was all good. And now let's go to our ninth reform initiative. This is the last one. Government assistance to students and teachers in private education. So this is not just all about the public schools, right? So there are also some reform initiatives for the private school. So this one is a program designed to provide financial support to students and teachers in private schools in the Philippines. So the primary goal of this one is to make quality education more accessible by subsidizing tuition fees for students and providing grants for teachers to improve their teaching quality. So this one, I think nangyari ito na nung pandemic, no, at nung inimplement nila yung senior high school sa mga schools. So mayroong mga voucher na tinatawag sa city po namin sa Taguig City. May tinatawag na mga voucher, senior high school voucher, kung saan pipili sila ng school, and kung yung school na yun ay nag-accept ng mga voucher from the government or from the city hall, mababawasan yung tuition fee or yung miscellaneous fee ng mga students. So, mas magkakaroon sila ng maraming opportunities na makapag-aral sa school na gusto nila kung private school man po yun. Okay, so those are the reform initiatives that we have in the Philippines. At mas marami pa pong iba. Pumili lang ako ng 9. So I have a short let's say formative assessment here, but we will skip this one. I will just show you. So first one is this one. Carla dropped out of school when she was younger because she needed to work and help her family. Years later, she wanted to continue her education but couldn't attend to regular school. She found a program that allowed her to learn at her own pace and receive a certificate to help her get a job. So we all know the answer is ALS. Second one is teachers in a school noticed that their students were struggling with new technology in the classroom. To improve their teaching skills, the school organized training workshops to help teachers learn how to use modern tools and methods. So it's very easy. The answer is teacher quality and development. Third one, a school wanted to improve its lessons by using computers, tablets, and the internet for learning activities. They started adding more digital tools to the classroom and trained teachers to use them effectively. So it's technology integration. Next one. In a remote village, children speak a local dialect at home but struggled with lessons in Filipino and English. The school began teaching them in their native language for the first few years to help them understand better. So the answer is mother tongue-based multilingual education. Okay, so those are some of my examples, and I hope I gave you a clear definition, and discussion about reform initiatives in the Philippine education. So we will be moving on to the next topic, which is professional development in education. Okay, so actually I have a question here, but yeah, we will be skipping this one. So I will just read it. Why is continuous professional development important for teachers in improving their teaching skills and student outcomes? So you can answer by yourself or maybe write down your answer on a paper. Okay, so yeah, so here are the object. This is the objective. Okay, so identify professional development needs. Okay, so we'll be identifying some of the professional development needs in the Philippine education. Okay, so what is professional development? Professional development refers to a range of learning activities and experiences designed to help educators improve their skills, their knowledge, and effectiveness in teaching and educational leadership. So, professional development is a continuous process that enables teachers or administrators and other educational professionals to stay updated with current research or maybe pedagogical strategies, technology integration, and also the best practices to enhance student outcomes. Okay, we have some key features of professional development. So each of these features directly contributes to the development of a teacher's effectiveness, helping them better support their students and also adapt to the changing needs of the education system. So we have five. First one is the ongoing learning. So ongoing learning, professional development is a career-long process, not a one-time event, right? So it should be viewed as a continual process where teachers remain lifelong learners. They constantly updating their skills and knowledge to adapt to new educational trends and technologies. So, for example, a teacher attends a summer workshops, right, on integrating technology into the classroom. So, throughout the school year, they continue to learn by experimenting with different tools in the classroom and also attending online seminar. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is the focus on student outcomes. So effective programs aims to directly or indirectly improve student learning and achievement. So the ultimate goal of professional development is to enhance teacher effectiveness, which in turn has a direct impact on student learning, also with the engagement and the achievement of our students. So we have an example like a teacher attends a professional development session on differentiated instructions. And the teacher applies strategies to meet the varied learning needs of his or her students. So it results in improved student performance on maybe, let's say, standardized assessment, right? So it focuses more on the student outcomes. So the third one is the collaboration. Collaboration, many professional development activities involve collaborative learning such as workshops, peer mentoring, or professional learning communities or the PLCs. So collaboration encourages the sharing of ideas, resources, and also experiences, right? Which allows teachers to learn from each other and adopt proven strategies to improve student outcomes. So let's say a math teacher collaborates with a science teacher to develop some interdisciplinary lessons, right? Giving students a richer understanding of how some concepts overlap in, let's say, real world applications. Okay, so now let's go to the fourth one, which is the customization. So tailored to meet the specific needs of educators, schools, or districts. So effective professional development takes into account the unique challenges or contexts and needs of teachers, schools, and districts, ensuring that that learning experiences are relevant and impactful for them. Okay, so we have an example like teachers at, let's say, a rural school receive training that include some strategies on overcoming challenges, such as maybe, let's say, large class sizes, limited resources, and also integrating technology into lessons, right, for improved learning outcomes. And the last one, the fifth one, is the variety of formats. So variety of formats includes workshops, conferences, online courses, coaching, lesson study, and action research. So professional development opportunities should be diverse, right? Not just focusing on one aspect, offering different formats such as face-to-face workshops, and there are also some online modules, some coachings, and collaborative lesson study, right, to address different learning styles and also some different schedules. So let's say that a teacher attends a conference on child development and also participates in coaching sessions on the classroom management, and later joins an online course about inclusive education strategies that that fit into their personal schedule. So the teacher is like attending various let's say seminars or workshops. Okay, so I have an activity again. Let's try. This is all about professional development. So the first one is a group of teachers regularly meets to discuss new teaching practices and share ideas on how to engage their students better. By working together, they can learn from each other's experiences and improve their collective teaching skills. So what do you think is the answer for this? Yes, the answer is collaboration, right? So sharing experiences, discussing challenges, and also brainstorming solutions, right? Together, right? Helps teacher improve their practices. So this our scenario is a group of teachers regularly meet to discuss new teaching practices and share ideas on how to engage their students better. Second scenario is Miss Cruz attends professional development sessions tailored specifically to her subject area, which is science. This personalized approach allows her to learn techniques that are directly relevant to her teaching. So, what do you think is the answer? The answer for here is customization. So, Miss Cruz attends professional development sessions tailored specifically to her subject area, which is science, right? So, in this case, the training Miss Cruz is attending is customized to her subject area, which is science, right? Making it more relevant and also effective for her as a teacher. Third one, Miss Santos attends a series of workshops throughout the year to keep improving her teaching techniques. She believes that continuous professional development helps her stay updated with the latest teaching methods and strategies. So, what do you think is the answer? The answer is ongoing learning, right? So, this demonstrates ongoing learning because professional development for teachers is not a one time event, but also it's a continuous process. So teachers need to engage in regular learning, right, to stay current with new teaching methods or educational tools. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Mr. Rivera participates in training programs that emphasize strategies for improving student performance in math. He focuses on applying the techniques he learns to help his students achieve better results. So the answer here is focus on student outcomes. So Mr. Rivera participates in training programs that emphasize strategies for improving, right, student performance. So uh, in participating this training, with direct aim of enhancing student success, particularly in that subject, which is the math. So professional development should always be aligned with improving student achievement, which is why this scenario illustrates focus on student outcomes. So I think this is the last one for this topic. So the scenario is teachers have the option to attend in-person workshops, online courses, or peer-led learning groups to develop their skills. This variety of learning formats ensures that all teachers have the opportunity to grow in ways that fit their schedules and learning preferences? So the answer is variety of formats. So teachers have the option to attend in-person workshops, online courses, or peer-led learning groups, right, to develop their skill. So we only have less than 1 minute. I will be recording the next topic, which is the scheduling and budget. So now let's proceed to the last topic in part 3, which is the scheduling and budget. Okay, so here, next. Okay, so the objective for this topic is to identify the principles of budget planning in education, including revenue sources and expenditure categories. So let's have the definition of budget planning. This is according to Auden and Picus in 2013. So they say that budget planning involves creating a financial blueprint to allocate resources efficiently, ensuring that educational institutions meet their goals and objectives. So budget planning in education is critical, right? It's very critical. That involves creating financial strategy to ensure resources are allocated in a way that best, let's say, supports the educational goals, enhances student learning, and also maximizes efficiency. Um, a well-structured budget serves as a roadmap for decision making, right, in educational institution, helping the administrators prioritize some expenditures, right, and also identify areas where resources can be optimized or reallocated. Okay, so we have some principles of budget planning in Philippine education, right? So we have the first one is the equity, okay, meaning the balance. Second one, we have also the universal access, right? So it's like the globally competitive. Third is the efficiency, right, of the budget planning. And the fourth one is the, of course, accountability, right, of the budget planning that we're doing in the school. And the last one is the sustainability. So it should be like we can use it for a long time, or the next generation can use it for the next period of time. Okay, so those are the principles of budget planning in education. So these are the things that they should consider in doing the budget planning for maybe like a specific year, right? They should consider the equity, the universal access, efficiency, accountability, and sustainability. So this is according to Navarro and Leanto in 2014. Okay, so we also have what we call some revenue sources. Okay, so what are the sources of the budget, right, in education? So the education budget in the Philippines is funded through multiple sources. So the first one is the national government allocation. Second one is the official development assistance. And the third one is the private sector and non-governmental organizations, or the NGOs. And the fourth one is the tuition and miscellaneous fees. So let's now go to the first one, the national government allocation. So education consistently receives the largest share of General Appropriations Act, or the GAA, as education is a priority sector. Okay, so they say that in the budget allocation of a country, or in the Philippine setting, the DepEd, right, or the education institution receives the highest or the largest share of the budget in a year. Okay, so they have like the SEF, or the Special Education Fund, like the LGUs allocate a portion of real property taxes to fund specific educational needs. They also have the GAA, or the General Appropriation Act. So that is like the annual budget law, allocates funding to various government sectors, including education. So just like what I said, the DepEd consistently received the largest share. And the next one is the Republic Act of 7160. So it specifies that a portion of real property taxes collected by the LGU is allocated for the Special Education Fund, which is used for the construction, the maintenance, and improvement of public schools. Because we all know in the Philippines, we have a lot of public schools, right? Especially in one city. So let's now go to the second revenue sources in education. So this is the official development assistance, or the ODA. Grants and loans from international organizations such as the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, ADB, and United Nations agencies. So basically, these international organizations provide financial assistance, right, in the form of grants and loans for education-related projects. So the Philippines has received ODA for education reform and infrastructure development. Okay, so there are lots of like resources for that. Okay, so the third one is the private sector and non-governmental organizations, or the NGO. So there are also some partnerships under Adopt a School to address resource gaps. Okay, so this one is the Republic Act number 8525, a government initiative that encourages private sector involvement in addressing educational needs by partnering with schools for infrastructure, scholarships, and other resources. Okay. So now let's go to the fourth one, which is from the tuition and miscellaneous fee. So applicable in higher education institutions, although the government's universal access to quality tertiary education act, or RA 10931, provides free tuition in state universities and colleges. So this is really applicable in higher education institution, right? Though the state universities and colleges already provides free tuition fees for the students. Okay, so as I've said a while ago, we experienced this one. So we didn't pay any tuition fee. I don't know, when we were in third year or fourth year college, we'll just pay for the student fee or the miscellaneous fee, which is really a small amount. Okay, so now let's go to the expenditure categories in Philippine education. So saan ba napupunta ang budget allocation, no? Sa isang school or sa isang institution. So of course, the first one, we have the picture of the people. So the personnel services, so salaries and benefits for teachers and administrative staff form the largest portion of the DepEd budget. So doon na pupunta ang pinakamalaking budget allocation sa DepEd, sa pagpapasweldo sa mga teachers as well as sa mga administrative staff sa isang school. Second one is the maintenance and other operating expenses, or the MOOE. So it covers daily operational costs such as utilities or classroom repairs and instructional materials that are being used by the teachers and the staff. And the third one is the capital outlay. So these are the funds for building a new schools or classrooms or even purchasing major equipment. Yeah, so that is the capital outlay. And the last one is the programs and projects. So for example, the implementation of K-12 reform. So there are lots of planning and preparation for that one. So they needed a bigger budget or a larger budget for that reform. Also, we have the ALS, alternative learning system that provides free education for out-of-school youth. And also we have the ICT, right? The integration of educational technologies, right? Under the DepEd computerization program. So those are some of the categories of expenditure in Philippine education. So I have a question here. What do you think are the challenges in budgeting? I know that it's really hard to do the budget, right? So sa atin pa nga lang na mga simpleng empleyado, napakahirap ng mag-budget at pagkasyahin, no, yung pera na mayroon tayo. What more pa kaya, no, kung sa isang let's say institution, No, siguro sobrang hirap nun. So you can answer this one on your own or you can write down your answers. It's up to you. What do you think are the challenges in budgeting? Okay. So we could say maybe isa sa mga challenges, no, yung underfunding in higher education. Okay, so while basic education is prioritized because they're covering elementary and high school, right? No, siguro minsan na pag-iiwanan or nakukulangan ng budget yung mga state universities and colleges, right? Or syempre din yung mga schools na nasa rural areas, hindi rin siguro sila masyadong napagtutuunan ng pansin when it comes to budget allocation. Okay, so now this is the last topic, which is the scheduling. So what is scheduling? It refers to the process of planning and organizing the timing of classes, activities, and resources in a way that optimizes the learning experience for students and efficiently uses the available resources in school. So basically, it just involves balancing the needs of students, teachers, and staff while considering some logistical constraints. Okay, so just the schedule, yeah, of classes, activities, and other resources. Okay, so we have different types of schedule. First is the academic calendar. Second, the class schedule. Third is the examination and assessment schedule. Okay, so for the academic calendar, um, this is like the academic year in public school. So typically runs from June to May with a summer break in April, right? And April to May and breaks Christmas break, Christmas and Holy Week. So private schools, however, may follow a different schedule. So sometimes they start in August and they end in May. Okay, so also in higher education, like universities, so the academic year is typically divided into 2 semesters, but there are some schools that are like following trimesters now, okay, or 3 terms, summer terms. Okay, and the next one, we also have the class schedule. So the class schedule, for example, the K to 12, right, which covers kindergarten to grade 12, right? So there are like some adjustments in scheduling for subjects, for grades and levels. So students are typically scheduled for 6 to 8 hours of classes per day, depending on grade level. So in higher education, university courses are scheduled in terms or semesters with a mix of lecture-based courses or maybe some laboratory sessions and some workshops. And the last one is the examination and assessment schedules. So for basic education, exams are typically scheduled during the end of each quarter or semester, depending on the school policy, right? So in higher education, exams are usually scheduled after each semester, right? Well, midterm are held around the halfway point, yeah, of the semester. Okay, so those are basically some schedules that you need to consider, yeah, in education. Okay, so the last question is, this is the last slide, yeah, of my topic. In your opinion, why are budgeting and scheduling important in education sector? So yeah. So for me, I will answer this question. Budgeting and scheduling are very important, right, in education because they help ensure that our resources like money and time are used wisely. So proper budgeting makes sure schools have tools and materials they need to function, while scheduling allows teachers to manage their time well, ensuring that students get enough time for learning and activities. Yeah, so that's why they're very relevant in education. Yeah, so that ends my report about reform initiatives. Thank you very much for listening and for watching my short presentation. Thank you.